Um, in a sense, the new light is an element and a character in itself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And some might see it as a harbinger of horrible things to come,
Mm-hmm.
and others may see it as a sign of wonderful things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it really depends on your perspective, and that's another layer to the onion when it comes to this book. Is
Right.
perspective is a huge thing. I mean, villains could be heroes and vice versa, depending
Right.
on which side of the fence you're standing on.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are very few true villains. And I say that because um, most people that we would deem as villainous
Mm-hmm.
would probably be okay with some therapy. Would,
Yes.
would probably be okay with the right
They
medication.
just they needed a couple of hugs, a few
Yeah. Well, you'll find
conversations.
the right homie or the right homegirl to hang with, and it's like, you know what? I was gonna blow up the place today, but
But you know,
let's we hang out here.
you talked me back off the ledge.
I'm gonna take this chill pill, and we gonna play another round. I mean,
Right. Right.
but when you don't have that, and I mean, you see it all over the place. When your
Mm-hmm.
mind is an echo chamber, the molehill becomes a mountain very quickly.
Yeah.
And if you got no one to slow that train down,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or worse yet, you find people that agree with you,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, then things get funky fast. So
Yes. Yes.
I like to try to play with that idea of you know, seeing it from different points of view. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not necessarily that I want you to empathize as much or sympathize as much with the villain as much as understand
Yeah.
how this can possibly happen. Because
Mm.
normally we just see the end result.
Right.
You know, we just see the erupting volcano, and we don't take the time to realize that this has been building up for a few thousand years. But it's that erupting volcano that has our attention.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like it done erupted, but like it's been working on erupting for God knows how long. And now it's arrived at its peak.
Yeah, yeah. But it's cool though. I mean, I think if I can just get people to stop and think for a moment before they say that coarse word, or
Mm-hmm.
before they send that hateful text or that trollish email or whatever,
Right.
I think I would have done a pretty good job, because I just need people to stop for just a second. You
Mm.
know, I mean, just long enough to say, you know what if that was me?
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so I
Oh,
think of
mm-hmm.
how do you measure success when it comes to your writing?
Oh, two ways.
Mm-hmm.
And the first is whether I feel good about what I've done.
Mm.
Right? If I'm happy with the end product, then regardless of who says what,
Mm-hmm.
you can't tell me nothing, right?
Right. Right.
Because as soon as that thing comes in the mail and I'm looking at it for the first time, holding it for the first time, it could be full of all kinds of typos and whatnot, which can be fixed over time.
Mm.
But I
Mm-hmm.
have it. It's real. So
Yeah.
I made a thought real. So there's nothing really you can tell me.
Right.
But secondly is if I could reach at least one person.
Mm.
Right. I have what I like to call super fans.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one in particular that caught me before we moved, because I was in Phoenix City before
Mm-hmm.
we moved, and I tried to meet up with him because I found out he was in the area, but it didn't quite work out.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
but the thing was, um, he sent me this email that told me how he related to Sarah in the book,
Mm.
because of how difficult it is to trust people to let them in,
Yeah.
especially after you've been through so much and all this stuff. And I was like, cool,
Like this is this.
Yeah, like this is what I was talking about.
Right here. Like that is so exciting. And I think it's something that has to be said. It's like if you loved a book, a poem, whatever, like, and you can non-creepily email them and say it or tweet them or whatever, like it does make a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that he's so ride or die when it comes to the story, he gets pretty much everything first. I'm like, dude, so I just wrote these hidden chapters. I want you to check them out. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Hey, I just did this image that I want to use for a poster. I'll send you a clip.
I love that
because I want people who are touched by my story to understand how much I appreciate the fact that they took the time to read it first off. Technically, I'm a complete unknown.
Right. I feel you. I too am unknown. So I know the feeling.
I mean, that takes time to sit and read and or listen to the story.
Yeah.
But the other thing is just that I know it doesn't take much to make someone feel good. So to say, you know what, you are in a very exclusive club and you are going to be one of 3 people who get to read this before anybody else or see this before anybody else. That makes them feel special. And it adds more value to my product because I'm like, yeah, this dude's going to tell me straight up if this is trash.
Because they're invested. They're like, what? Wait a minute, bruh. I see what you're trying to do, but it ain't all there.
Yeah, you were close, but
and that's so like it's so important because it sharpens your work.
And there are people that I'm truly lucky to actually have run into in this journey. I mean, there's a few I'm pretty sure you've heard of. Manuel Godoy with Black Sands. He kind of gave me my first shot.
Amazing.
It was this free YouTube class that I jumped into to write this because I've been sitting on this story for like 15 years, and I was like, I'll get to it. I can get around to, this is so expensive. But by the time he dropped this course, all the stars were aligned. It was like, it's now or never. If I don't do this, it's my own fault.
Right.
So, I mean, I really happy to have run into him. He gave me my first shot behind the table at a con. So it showed me that people dig the story. People like the aesthetic. And I was like,
I love the aesthetic. I'm here for all of it, really. I'm like, whatever you making shirts, pins, whatever you're trying to do, let me know because I want it. Thank you.
And thank you so much. But then of course there's Jason Primrose for Lost Children of Andromeda.
Okay, I've heard the name. I need to add that to my list of to be read. Hold on.
So many things. Like, first off, it was I stumbled across his stuff on, I think it was Amazon. And I was like, I want to see what these covers look like. His blew my mind. I looked at it like, well, he's got an Instagram. Looked on Instagram. What's up, man? He hits me up. And we had this conversation. He tells me he's doing a Patreon. I'm like, you know what?
Yes.
You get my $5.
Yes.
So from there, it was like conversations on what I could do. And it was input on some things to dodge and some things to look into and process ideas and stuff. And I mean, he was so forthcoming and free with the information, which is not exactly common.
That's hard. It's super hard. That's something I definitely was going to ask you because it's like how, first of all, publishing, editing, like those nitty gritties can be hard to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, there's different angles. Like what Manuel Godoy put in the class and everything was 2 things. He's like, if you're good, right, you write your story and you're good at editing, then by all means, edit it yourself. But understand this: if your editing is trash and you put it out thinking, this is the bomb, they will let you know.
Yes, they will.
you want to put your focus on putting out a quality product. If it
Mm-hmm.
looks amateur, people will respond.
People will let you know that it is amateur.
Yes. So he was saying, you know what? It may take a little longer, but save up your chips and let the capital do the work.
Mm-hmm.
There are
Mm-hmm.
people who get paid to edit, period. Edit. Not
That changed
editing
my
and
whole
do art.
life.
Yeah. I mean, because it's something that one, it saves you time, right?
Yes.
A lot of people their ideas die on the table because they never finish because they're too busy nitpicking and trying to do everything themselves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then of course there's like what I said earlier, you put something out because you're excited and you
Right.
haven't gone through the channels of like, hey, did you get this copyrighted? Hey,
Mm-hmm.
did you get this through an editor? Hey, did you do layout? I didn't know layout was a
Oh
thing.
my goodness. I learned that the hard way with my own book. And then, I was like, look, I need to find somebody to help me do this because.
I was like, what is, I mean, I have to have it look a certain way in the book.
Right.
And that cat, the dude I got to do my layout, because it was a competition kind of thing near the end, and I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
have it done by a certain time. This dude works 10 straight hours
Oh my gosh.
because he wanted to make sure I met my deadline. Now, I'm not a spendthrift. I don't like
Uh-huh.
to throw money around, but
Mm-hmm.
when I see quality or I see somebody grinding for me,
It's worth it.
I'm like, you know what, man? I'm not even gonna haggle with the price because
It's worth
I
it.
see what you're doing, and he's the guy now. He's one of my aces that I have. So
Mm.
as soon as I'm done with this, there's other people I could go to that are less expensive, but this dude I know is gonna do the job and do it.
Right.
So,
That is so important.
and to
That
have an
is
ace
so
though,
important.
it's good to have aces.
Yes. Yes.
It's good to have aces.
You can't be the best by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's period. Like,
Anybody?
people will sharpen you, support you, uplift you, and you realize that there is a whole level you could unlock.
Yep. And anybody who says they did it by themselves, they're selling something.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Selling something. So don't buy it.
Don't buy it. I was gonna ask you something and I left my mind. I think also is like you were talking about doing the comics. Like what else, like what other branches would you want to um play with? Tell me, because I already hear you got them.
I'm glad you asked. All right. So, like I said before, I want to dabble around with doing some illustrations to post on a regular basis. Um, the comic idea, of course, and I'm looking at maybe starting at the end of the year as if, fingers crossed, I can tie down this artist. But I've been delving into music, right?
Okay.
Because there's so many ways to reach an audience.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, you know what? If I could have songs made about Between Magic and Dreams, that's one thing.
Oh,
And then
that's
another thing
cool.
is I have these certain assets, right? I've got this audiobook.
I
They
love
have,
your audiobook.
thank you. I didn't do the speech because my voice sucks, I think. So
We
I
all
got
think that it's like a scientific reason for it. And I was gonna ask you, like, did you choose the person?
yes. I
Ooh.
actually, again, another ace.
Mm-hmm.
I found this guy 3 months before I actually decided to go with him.
Wow.
And
Uh-huh.
and I hit him up in that last month in hopes that he would be available to do so. And
Mm-hmm.
and again, it just so happened that he was, because I was like, you know what? Out of the 10 people I listened to and
Mm-hmm.
narrowed it down to 4, he had the Quinn voice.
Yeah.
I heard when I thought Quinn and then I heard his voice, I was like, that's him.
That's it.
So yeah. I jumped in with both feet, and he was ready. And I was like, dude, I'm gonna need you to do all three.
It was such like a rich. I think